Good morning. Welcome. Board of Health Program Policy and Appeals Committee, please come to order for the August 16, 2023 meeting. We have an agenda. Next is call to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Matthew?
I'm here, thank you.
Commissioner Baker?
Yep.
Commissioner Leininger?
Yes, ma'am.
The chair entertain an approval of the agenda. You had the opportunity to look at this weekend. Ms. Fisher sent it to us.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
I will support.
Thank you. Our St. Joseph County Commissioner, Mr. Baker, made the motion to approve, and our chairman from the great county of Hillsdale seconded it. Those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. We have an agenda. Thank you. Next is public comment. I do not see anybody public here. Nobody on the line either. Thank you. May I proceed to number 3, new business. Personnel policy manual update.
So I've been working with the Personnel Policy Committee. Teresa has as well at providing some updates to this document. They are outlined on, I don't really have page numbers here, but it'd be the 3rd page of your packet as far as where the change is proposed and what it relates to. So a lot of this is updates for how we respond in an emergency situation. They're all pretty routine and standard corrections. So,
Right.
The exception to that is the longevity one.
true. On page 17, so maybe we should just take a gander at that. There was a request by staff to include part-time staff in our longevity program. They have not been included in the past. So this proposal includes that change.
What is the financial consequences on if we include, and how much money it costs?
So currently, there are no people that would benefit from this
That's right, that
change.
was my question. How many
There
part-timers
was
do we
one
have?
person that was part-time that would have benefited from this change, so it would have cost the agency $150. But she's since accepted a full-time position with us, so she's no longer
Part-time.
part-time.
But just say you have 12 people join, potentially, and how much a year it cost, including all kind of benefits and everything. You may want to look
Well,
at.
this is, the only benefit with this would be that longevity.
Right, and the rates are on the top of page 18 there. For years 5 through 9 of service, it'd be $150 per employee per year. And then if they, 10 to 14 years, it's $300.
So you gotta have a part-time employee here 5 years before they even see this.
Yes,
Right.
I'm gonna bet if you go back in the history of that, you do not have very many part-time employees here 5 years.
that's correct.
That's right.
So they have to be 5 years
Yes.
before they, I see. There is no hidden agenda or anything, correct?
No.
I mean, I just wonder.
Yeah.
What's a casual employee, I guess, is my question.
Casual employee is someone that's often referred to in like hospitals as PRN. They only
Okay.
get paid when we call them in because we need them. So if somebody's on vacation, we need them to work and cover, then we could call them in to
And
cover.
I'm assuming we don't have a list of them lined up anywhere either.
We have a
don't-
few.
We don't have a whole lot of those either, but there are a couple.
Right.
Yeah.
What's our total cost for longevity as a whole?
Speaking from memory, I looked this up several months ago, so I can't recall specifically, but it was in the neighborhood of around $10,000 a year. That's not very much.
So you have one employee who worked with us part-time, but that person is now full-time. That's a good thing.
Yes.
So, I don't know.
Remember, our turnover was so high, the longevity rate right now is very low, because our turnover was so high.
And we're not paying our part-time employees medical or anything like that, correct?
No.
They have no benefits really.
What about summertime, well, they are.
Well, I mean, and so number 3 deals with seasonal employees.
Number 3.
Okay, on page,
It's page 18 of the policy.
so the staff that are, the vision and hearing staff, they're seasonal folks, right?
Yes.
Would be their classification,
The only ones.
Yep,
and they get, I mean, if they're here long enough, I guess, like, where's the seasonal?
Definition?
The seasonal employee definition, yeah.
I'm looking for it.
Usually college students, correct? The seasonal employees, like for research.
The tip.
We
research.
don't,
No.
but we don't have any, I mean, we do have, okay, it's on page 12 of the policy. So, it's a long definition, but the only staff we have that are considered seasonal are our hearing and vision staff. And it is also our hearing and vision staff where we have one part-time employee. Through retirement this year, the part-time employee has opted to seek the full-time and was granted that. So are we still trying to hire a part-time?
yes.
So the position is still posted for replacement of the part-time position.
If I may add one more, after you have already have the legal counsel looked at the main points, the red area?
We did not,
Not yet, you have time.
We didn't this time.
not for that little change, no, we did not.
I think we've talked to him about this in the past, haven't we? Maybe not.
On what?
About the seasonal employees.
Oh, the
Um,
seasonal employees, the attorney did look at that.
Oh,
Yes, the seasonal employees, the attorney signed off on years ago.
I know it's not much, we have worked to eliminate longevity in every bargaining unit that we can, or employee group at Hillsdale County. And just tried to build in those figures back into wages. As opposed to, $600 lump sum is really not that much. I don't know what Branch County or Joe County has done as far as,
We've actually tried bringing some of them back, just for the simple fact that, you're right, $600 isn't anything. I mean, you're talking less than 50 cents on the pay chart. But it's kind of at the end of their anniversary year, kind of a, hey, we do appreciate you. It looks bigger at $600 than it does at,
150.
30 cents an hour. It really does, and it's kind of a attaboy type of deal, other than,
Yeah.
and I mean, we're talking $600 after what, 20 years? The 150s even,
Right.
5 cents an hour? $7.50 now. Yeah,
so we keep moving,
Yeah, it's 30 cents an hour,
we
basically.
can come
On
back.
600, right.
Yeah, 30,
What's the
31.
next page?
The
Bruce?
next page, where there was a modification, is page 41 of the policy.
Then she memorized.
Nope, I flipped right back to that chart.
Did you say 31?
41.
But you gotta realize we're behind times big time. Our pay scales.
You think your pay still? feel prepared, won't go to see ours.
When do you get your results back?
We're not sure. We use municipal consulting, so apparently Lenawee County, just had a classification study done. They used the other firm that had actually submitted a bid to us. But I'm not sure exactly, I forget who that was. I had looked at their commission name.
I don't think we could find another
I was gonna
company
say, I
that
wasn't
had-
aware there was
Yeah.
another company that
Yeah,
did it,
we
so
had
that's
another,
interesting.
we had two companies
We had you too.
submit us proposals, you know, Mark with municipal consulting, and then, I'll look at Lenawee County here in a minute and I'll tell you.
We went with municipal consulting, but there was two of them.
And again, I forget who the other one.
What about MAC, Michigan Association of Counties?
They're not the best one for that.
Mhm.
I mean, cost
You know,
wise.
and when did we last do that here?
2019,
Just before the pandemic.
and we're just now at the, almost at exactly what they recommended for us in 2019. We've just now achieved that goal.
Do you recall what the amount, the cost?
Only
Uh,
on the salary of staff. Not my salary. Let's be clear. Okay. Maybe with staff we've gotten there.
Yeah, well, we're concerned, you know, I had pegged that our cost was gonna be $500,000.
And you think it's gonna be more?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's why.
I think it was like 250,000 here.
Yeah, that's why we discussed about the MAC, because that's a group of 83 or 40, whatever they want. So it will be cheaper, and also only certain area. It may not be the head of the agencies, just a certain agencies to look at. And if it costs $500,000, may I as well give it to them. Why we are, I mean, we already know.
Well, yeah. And, I mean, that's a little bit off topic here, but, you know, but I guess it's not, because when we're talking about longevity, that is also part of that whole compensation package.
It is.
Do you-
I obviously wasn't here in 2019. Is there a chance I can get a copy of that document?
I can send it to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, right, I don't think I've ever seen
We
that
don't
one
have
from
that in
here.
resources?
No, that's not in resources. I can certainly send it out, though.
I don't know why we couldn't put it there.
Cause I don't know if Mark has done any other health agencies lately, where he's reached out to us, if he's then provided, I mean. 'cause
We have
that's a-
data that he provided back from a survey he did for another health department that we got in March or April.
Okay,
So we have current data from him.
yeah, cause that's the thing with Mark is, right, if he does a study and you provide him the information for his study,
Right.
when he gets all done, he sends his report back to you as well.
And if you have any information from Lenawee County, you can share with us, especially I am interested for other reasons. So are we in the page 41?
We are, and so at the top of page 41, talks about how we notify staff if there is a need for a weather closure. We have always had a call list, so Becky calls these people and Teresa calls these people and on and on and on, right? We still have that structure, but we also now can send messages using a text. And so everybody gets it, and it's more efficient, it's faster,
Heck yes, man, a blast.
yeah.
The only question I had about this, you know, and I know as a board, it's our job for oversight. Always hate getting caught off guard though. You know, something happens at the school, seems like at times the school board members are the last to know about it, or, you know. So at least on something like that, to make sure that the Board of Health members maybe get a separate
Yeah, add us
text,
to it, or just add us to the list.
or included in that
Yeah.
notification.
We've always had the chair and vice chair that get a phone call. I think I've called both
Yeah,
of you guys in the
yeah.
past. But, I understand. I can understand
Also,
the need.
at least 10 or 12 counties I know, the administrator or sheriff or head of the agencies contact the county, whoever in charge of that. Usually all 5 or 11 people get, so before it comes to the press or public find out, they know they are prepared. Or even they put a 2-liner saying what to say in case somebody calls.
So what I'm doing on a bad weather day is I'm starting my morning talking to Bud Norman and Teresa Doring and Commissioner Wiley as the chair, to see what do you know, because they always have better information than what I have because they're working with the road commission. And are you going to, what's your intention? What are the roads like? So,
I guess in our county, it's better to ask the sheriff, cause I'm not sure the road commission's out.
yeah.
Well, my comment is, I'm going to work, you know.
Well, and we have not closed on certain days when St. Joe has chosen to close. So
It's been pretty contentious over there on some of that.
that's the county that we tend to disagree with, I guess, if
Me
as far
too.
as what the decision is. Usually if Bud Norman closes or Commissioner Wiley makes that decision, we're pretty much in line with them.
We normally go by, if I'm mistaken, correct me, we go by the emergency coordinator here and the road commission, because they have the state's all information than channel that. But my concern is, do you have all equipment available and any cost? I mean, we need it, but my point is, how do you set up, or you have already
It's already set up.
set up? So
Yeah.
there is no.
So we made the change, we're just putting it into the policy.
Putting it into the policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we found out that this was a service that we already were paying for our clinical services, to text employees, or not to text employees, to text clients to remind them of their appointments. So we already have this system in place and we're paying for it anyway, so.
Yeah,
Well, that makes sense, you text them to tell them you're closed, so you might as well just throw everybody on the list and text everybody.
yeah. The other thing is, I will say, reading through this, and I got reading titles, like the, and forgive me, Teresa, I had to go back and actually look at, and go pull up the organizational chart to figure out, okay, who has this title?
Which one? Which one were you sure?
The Administrative Services Director.
Oh, okay.
It's an odd title. It is an odd title.
It's not odd in public health. I made it.
It should just be
But-
junk
It's a
drawer.
great title.
It should just be junk drawer.
But, junk drawer. There are other admin services directors in public health in the state.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but, so, and that's the other thing that I was gonna bring up about this is, in this manual, do we want a copy of that, flow chart of that,
The org chart.
organizational chart included in this somewhere?
We could.
There's no harm in doing that.
The only harm in that is, anytime we update that organizational chart, we also have to update.
That's true. That is true.
Get
It has
used to
come back
seeing this
here.
then.
Well,
I
unless
mean-
you make it an appendix to this.
I guess with the text going out, what's the benefit of putting it in there?
Well, it's just at times, if an employee has this, and they wanna know that, it's just,
Yeah, I get what you're saying, I'm with you on the other end of it too, every time there's a change, they reprint policy.
Well, we
And like
don't
I said,
though. I mean, we print it once a year, I think,
We do print
and
it once
then
a
it's
year.
electronic, the staff all have access to it.
yeah,
So, I mean, I really don't, I don't think it's a huge deal. We can put it in there, it doesn't change that often. It's really not that big of a deal, so,
And then he'll know who the administrative services director is.
there you go.
or, well, right, it's like, where the heck is that
Who is
position
that?
at? Yeah, is that,
And also you can make, I'm sure you may have already, ready-made templates, like whether, whatever you only have to plug is the date and the time will be closed due to whatever. You don't have to think and say what word goes, what this, just spit it out.
I guess my question is, do we do it as a whole? Like, say, you get a foot of snow in Hillsdale, do we close all three, or do we?
No.
Okay. I'm good with
We
that.
hunt and peck. Like St. Joe last year, I think especially was open when Hillsdale and Branch might have been
Mhm.
either closed or on a delay. In fact, we did that once.
Yeah.
Hillsdale was closed, Branch was on a delay, St. Joe was open.
that was the ice storm
Was that the ice storm?
in February maybe,
Yeah.
February of this year where,
Yeah, when you lost all them trees over there.
right, and the ice really didn't start until about Quincy.
Right, yeah,
Mm-hmm. True story.
yeah, so. Well, can we move
Trust me, I
along?
drove
Is that,
over here, yep.
is it okay if we move along?
Please, come to 42.
So, again, these are just procedural changes, you know, changing 911 to 9-1-1 on page 41. And then on page 42, you know, asking staff to remember to capture the caller ID if they're on the phone with someone who's making a threat. And then, you know, cleaning up the evacuation decision. So, the Dr. Strong policy is, has been in place forever. So if someone's feeling threatened by a client, they can page Dr. Strong. That's a notification to everybody that works here that Becky's in trouble. Don't go to Becky, but call 911. So that's the instructions that we have here for staff is you're not to run to her to help her, but you are to call 911 to get help to her. And then, you know, exit the building if it's safe to do so.
But you have already worked with the sheriff department for emergency evacuation, things like that.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say we've necessarily had conversations with them lately, but we've certainly had the sheriff's department in all of our buildings from time to time.
You know, I went through this here last month with our county at the courthouse. I don't know, maybe it's something to go through over here. Our emergency manager came through and, basically went through like an active shooter drill on what to do and what not to do. Have we done that here?
We've done that here too.
Okay.
Yeah, we had
It's been a hot minute though. A lot of the
It was
staff haven't seen it,
pre-pandemic.
yeah.
Right. I mean,
Pre-pandemic
We
and-
don't wanna just do it here, we would wanna do that at each of our,
and we
When I
did-
say here, I mean all of them. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, and we did all three offices, but, yeah, I mean, you know, the staff has largely turned over since, and we should do it again, so. All right, emergency contact procedures, it just, you know, enforces that text system again and talks about, you know, how we go about notification for that. And then if we flip the page, we're talking about fire alarms, smoke detectors, what to do.
Yes, I think that those are the your house issues.
Yeah, we do have, we don't usually have fire alarms, but if there's a tornado that comes through, we pull everybody into the center of the building in as safe a place as we can, and then the visitors are advised of the weather situation, our clients. However, we can't hold them. So if they make the decision that they're not sticking around and staying in the center of the building like our staff is required to do, they certainly can leave. And, you know, this outlines the same situation for smoke and fire.
Incidentally, in our building here, where is the tornado or similar situations?
I'm just right here.
They actually are not to come to this room because it's, the roof or something. So the hallways are,
Walls are closer, more support for the roof.
yeah.
Yep, yep,
I
it's that
always
hallway
thought
right
it was
there.
here too, but
Yeah,
it's not.
It's that hallway.
Underneath that one, a fire drill will be held once a year
Mhm,
on a randomly selected time.
yeah.
Do we have anywhere in here dictating that it's the responsibility of the emergency management coordinator to coordinate that training and scheduling of that?
I don't think it's in here, but it's certainly in our EPC's, job
Job description.
duties, yeah. She knows she's expected to do it. And she's been doing them.
You had the chance to look at this, right? I had a little bit, this, on a housing area
Yeah.
within the administrative.
The only question that I had, and I noticed back on the reference page, we had changed a bunch of page numbers. And I just wonder if we're gonna need to do all of those changes once you actually clean this up and you delete everything that's shown as being deleted.
Yeah, so this is a
But that would
dynamic,
change the page number, right?
well, it's a dynamic table of contents, so it automatically updates based on where it is in the document. So when I clean it up and do that, it'll automatically update the table of contents again.
That's a good call. After you said it, I'm like, yeah, but I was like, where did you come up with this?
So it will change, you're right.
Yeah, it's a
That's just
dynamic.
acknowledgement that it will do so.
I
Right,
don't,
because when you insert all that language in, you,
I don't see any more red.
no, that's it, I think, after that page,
Well, 43, 44, 45, 46. There's
47.
actually quite a bit yet here. I mean, I don't have to go through it all. I mean, it really is, it's just a matter of, you know, what are we doing? Does this make sense? Should we change it? Do we need to add to it? Like the lockdown thing. It was only the health officer that could decide to do a lockdown. Well, that doesn't make any sense. You know, I can't be in 3 places at once,
Right.
or 4 places for that matter. And, you know, whoever is the supervisor in charge,
That
if it's
day or
needed,
that time.
yeah,
Right.
then they need to make that decision and then notify everybody that needs to be notified, so.
Cause the only time it's been done here or thought to be done, you weren't here.
Sound like you are going to take a long vacation.
Yeah, yeah, no vacations, but yes.
Well, Mr. Chair, I would move that we recommend the updated personnel policy manual, to the full board.
A second.
Thank you. We have a motion by our chairman that personal policy manual update be presented to the full board, and seconded by our distinguished commissioner from St. Joseph County, Mr. Baker. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. We have a personal policy manual update to our entire board. Next is, if I may proceed, 3B, Health Officer Evaluation Policy Review.
Yeah.
She's looking for a long vacation in Europe.
Our board chair requested a chance to
I
take
would
a
like a
look
long
at this.
vacation in Europe.
I'm not sure how to take what he's saying on that long vacation.
Long vacations sound wonderful, I'm just not sure they're doable.
No, it's not, again, but yeah.
Or, anybody, Mr.
Well,
Chairman?
and again, I had asked that we just make sure that we look at this, because after our board meeting this month, the survey will be going out to all the board members, so that we can have this done and have Rebecca's evaluation completed in
September,
September,
yep.
so.
I commend you for bringing this early, so that will be smooth, whether it is good or bad.
Well, and the other thing is we have some new board members on the board, Commissioner Baker, I wanted to make sure you had seen those questions, if you had any concerns with some of them, thought any of them should be changed.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say this is a pretty generic tool used throughout the state.
Right.
I would not disagree with that.
I believe we incorporated from other agencies, correct?
It's been here longer than I've been in this position, so I don't know where it originated.
And we also do a staff survey.
Yes.
I mean, that's the one that really,
Factor into, yeah.
And we have that back. We have a
Well,
work group
when
here.
will we see that?
I generally send it out at the same time as I send out this stuff.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Yeah, it's all part of the same package, because you need it to review.
Yeah, because we're not here day to day to say,
Right.
Right.
you know, the health officer, you know, maintains a work style which is open to constructive suggestions. The staff are gonna be the ones who tell us that, because.
because of
again,
course she's gonna be open to our suggestions.
Cause we're not here.
Right.
Yeah, so, you know, you just have to remember though that it is a staff survey,
Yeah.
right?
For sure,
Also,
you're gonna have to throw the good and the bad out,
Yeah.
because you're gonna have people that are pissed off, and
But
you gotta
There's
take the
always a little
average.
bit of each end of the spectrum, and then there's the
Right.
basket
So
also.
that is any workplace.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like that, I mean, somebody hate me, somebody loves me, somebody will say, ah, he's okay. So that is even last century, like that. I mean, we may think it is a new century, everybody, you know, it is everywhere like that.
For sure.
Actually, by and large, it was more positive this year than we've seen in any year since I've taken over.
I was going to
So.
say that, yeah, you're right.
Surprisingly,
I agree with
yeah.
you. Praise God for that.
And again, so
Strike that.
this was approved in January of last year, Commissioner Baker.
Mhm.
And it comes to us electronically, we complete it electronically, and it comes back to the Administrative Services Director.
Not the secretary to the Board of Health?
Well, she's got two titles.
Yeah, didn't you listen to all those comments about how
It
many
would-
things I do around here?
Only my
Jump
concern
over.
at that time, I don't know, last year or a year before, when, I don't remember, but putting the people's name, but instead of a number or something. So, but that's okay, we will, I personally, no problem, if and when I evaluate somebody, I will stand by it, but some people prefer not to have their names. You know, some
Yeah,
people-
that's my question too. I mean, as an employee, I don't care who they're evaluating, whether they're evaluating you, or you. I don't, do you get to see the names on who evaluated you?
No, not employees.
So the employee satisfaction survey is anonymous. We
Okay,
don't see
that's the
who
one I-
made what
that's the one I
comments.
care about.
But like when I evaluate my staff, like when I sit down with Justin and you know, evaluate
Well, for
Justin
sure.
or any, they know that that's coming from me, right?
No, absolutely, I get that, but I'm talking when the bottom's evaluating the up.
Yeah, no.
I don't think that's a good idea, but the other way, that's fine.
It's anonymous.
It's totally anonymous. In fact, a couple of the first two questions allow them to not declare, which is the department you're in and the office you're located.
Right,
So
'cause
if they
that's
wanna
gonna
just,
narrow
I
them,
don't
right.
declare to either of those, they can,
Well,
yeah.
I think Ms. Fisher just indicated, I think, since I have been here anyway, I think this year has been, I mean, that doesn't mean employees call us and things like that, but one of the best years,
It's the best year I've ever seen.
yeah. So,
The only thing on this policy, actually the performance evaluation policy, and I just catching this here now. In Becky, forgive me, but I forget what that, performance evaluation figure is in your current contract.
It's right here,
Is
it's,
it,
5,000,
okay,
did
but
we say, or
it's still
something?
5,000?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it said.
Okay,
it was 3.
It was
Right.
3,500, I
okay.
think. It went up to
So
5.
my concern with the policy itself is if the
Is that
contract
in
is
there?
changed,
Right.
and changes that performance evaluation figure, I don't think that dollar figure should be spelled out in that policy.
I would agree with that.
I would agree with
Well,
that too.
You mean the
Like
merit?
here, right,
The merit shouldn't be spelled out.
right, the actual dollar figure shouldn't be spelled out, you know, but it, you know,
So
but
it could say something like, may award merit pay according to contract.
right, based on satisfactory evaluation.
The commissioner shall have the honor of changing whatever they want this to be.
Right, but yeah,
We can recommend
yeah,
pursuant to, I mean,
Well, I would kinda like to see the state report, you know, on the equivalent wages, the one I was looking for 2019, or whatever one you have. I mean, cause maybe that's part of the way to make up,
yeah.
I mean, if it's way off, or, you know.
But like I said, I just think, reading this, I think that actual dollar figure needs to come out.
Well, then let's.
award,
I would
make that-
recommend that we make that change, for the, and just change that last
Is that dollar
paragraph.
figure in your contract?
Okay,
Yeah.
and I
Is there
would-
a dollar figure in
Yes,
it?
there's a dollar figure in the contract, and that's why I say, to me, the dollar figure shouldn't
Per
be.
contract put in there,
Right,
so
or,
5,000 per contract.
okay, I put some word there.
I'll pull it up real quick, but I'm sure it's in there.
It's in
yes.
I-
And I would just say, upon satisfactory evaluation, the Board of Health
May.
may award, merit pay
Per contract.
per negotiated contract with the health officer.
Negotiated what this?
Per the contract with the health officer.
I like that. Per contract.
I agree that because generally speaking, our commissioners are thoughtful about the administrative staff anyway, and employees. So
Well, just-
nothing wrong, there is not, it can be instead of 5,000, it can be 50,000.
So the contract, this is what the contract says, it says the Board of Health shall evaluate the performance of the health officer annually per the evaluation policy adopted by the Board of Health. Upon a satisfactory evaluation, the Board of Health may award up to $5,000 in merit pay.
Okay, right, so that, again,
It's
that's in
already
the
spelled
contract.
out,
It
yeah.
is, but that's what, to me, I just don't think,
Yep,
leave that spelling in the
Yeah.
the dollar figure and stuff in the
take it out
contract,
of here.
take it out of here.
Agree.
So if I could read back what I got to make sure it's correct. Per the current contract, upon a satisfactory evaluation, the Board of Health may award merit pay per negotiated contract with the health officer. It
I
kinda
don't-
says per the
I-
current contract
I don't
twice
think
now.
we need per the current contract there.
Okay, so just so we have upon a satisfactory evaluation, the Board of Health may award merit pay per negotiated contract with the health officer.
Yeah.
Got it.
That makes sense.
We get the dollar signs. on
Again,
it.
nothing to fear about the health officer, she's not here at this time, so we can talk about that.
She's missing in action.
But yeah,
Big
I said it just,
imagination.
That's wonderful. Anything else, Mr. Chairman?
Good suggestion.
no, so I would recommend that change to the full board.
It's a motion.
That's a motion.
What if I don't want a second? Second.
All right. We have a motion from our own chairman, and that health officer evaluation policy review will be submitted before the entire board and seconded by our own St. Joseph County Commissioner, Mr. Baker. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The ayes have it, and we are going to forward this to the entire committee for their decision. Thank you so much. Any public comment? Justin?
I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Support.
Thank you. We have a motion to adjourn, and we have a second. Any discussion, please?
On point of order, motion to adjourn is not debatable, nor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We're gonna discuss how it's not debatable.
All right. Thank you very much. We are adjourned, and I have to go next door and